We are recording. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Kyle Schmidt, here this month again to do another episode on Stoke Meter. I'm here in the office, in the brand new offices of LearnWake.com, and I'm here with my colleague Chad Lowe, and we're here to answer your questions about anything wake related, instruction. If you have problems with tricks, um, you type it in, we'll answer it. All right, we got our first question. Kirk, how you liking your new digs? I love it. I finally have my own office. We uh, we had our previous office was a little smaller, and Mike were sharing an office. Mike and I, my partner Mike, and I were sharing an office. So this is way better. A little more comfy. Get to decorate it how I want it. So I'm pretty pumped on that. So Chad, what have you been up to?
Just riding, coaching in Claremont.
Nice. Okay, Kirk. So I have a question. I keep coming on, or I keep on coming short on my tantrums and actually landing with my back towards the boat. What do I need to do to get better? Okay, I gotta get in instructional mode here. You want to start? You want to start? You want to start us off, or?
No, you can go.
Yeah, all right. Okay, let me think about this for just a second. Landing with my back towards the boat. Sounds like you're doing are you doing kind of a frontside 180 when you flip? A lot of riders do that when they learn tantrums. If they feel like they're coming up short, it's kind of a defense mechanism, and they'll turn their body, and yeah, they'll do a frontside 180. You can counter this by moving the handle, and a lot of times riders will turn their head at the same time when they do this, so you can actually keep your head at your back shoulder and move your handle in the opposite direction, which actually makes you go to blind, or the direction towards backside or blind, and that kind of counters the movement. But it sounds like you need to get more pop, and the way that you get more pop, the way that you get more pop is to probably, I don't know if you know what reentries are, but reentry ollie pops are a good thing to practice, especially backside since they're related to a tantrum. The better you are at reentry pops, the higher you can do backside reentries. It's directly related to your tantrum pop. And if you go up higher, you probably won't defend yourself as much, and it'll probably stop you from moving the handle and turning your heads. So that's what I suggest. Try to practice reentries a bunch. Get better at that. Backside reentries with one hand, so you're in the squared up position, and try to increase that pop off your back foot, and then also move the handle and keep your head a little more at your back shoulder. Let's move on to the next question. Sarah says, every time I try a back roll, I come over halfway and just get owned. That sucks. Well, I mean, it's pretty hard to tell what your problem is, but most of the time, I mean, we find that riders, edge to the wake, get speed, and throw the trick rather than getting the catapulting motion that you should use to do a back roll. So it sounds like you need some edge technique work, and maybe even some loading the line work, learning how to kind of get the pop without the wake. So progressive edge, you got to work on a really late progressive edge with a taller position. I don't know. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, when it says coming over halfway, you mean like opening up towards 180 or going like a little weird in your flipping action? Because I know a lot of time when people learn back rolls, they let the handle get towards their belly button, and it opens them up halfway, and they get smacked. So I like to think about doing a back roll and actually just doing a back roll around the handle.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to determine if you're under rotating or actually turning. So you might want to clarify that if you can. How can we hire you? Easy. Just send us an email. You can contact us pretty easily. We're easy to find. I've got a bunch of email addresses, and I'm sure Chad, you can find Chad too. We do traveling clinics all the time. Or you can come see us at the wakeboard camp down in Claremont, Florida. That's where both Chad and I work. So, Larry, what are your suggestions for getting to a Rayleigh? Um, Rayleighs are probably one of the most dangerous tricks to learn. Once you get them down, they're pretty easy. Sometimes easier than just a plain old wake jump. But the learning process can be pretty dangerous, and you definitely need to take the proper steps. At the camp, we have specific safety guidelines. Number one, you got to wear a helmet. Number two, you got to wear a Coast Guard approved vest. That's mandatory. And then you have to go through a process with the coach. And the first step is on the trampoline to make sure that you can do the motion and you can get enough height and you're used to pulling yourself in and out properly. The next step after that is to get on the wake skate behind the boat with a helmet, Coast Guard approved vest still, and you learn how to jump off the wake skate, let your feet out, pull yourself back in, and then pin drop in the water. That's step number two, and then from there it's at the coach's discretion, and he kind of goes through the steps to kind of prep you for doing it with your board on your feet. We have some prerequisites. You have to definitely be able to jump really big out in the flats just for normal heel side jumps. But yeah, you definitely should take the proper steps. And a wake skate is definitely a lower impact way to learn the trick. So learning it on the cable or the System 2 is the Sissy System 2 is becoming really popular as a learning tool. And that's a really safe way to learn it too. They teach them on shorter ropes. Actually, you want to talk about that for a little bit? You actually just experienced that.
Yeah. Last week I went out there to the projects and rode and tried it. And I've never really done a Rayleigh behind a boat. Had no desire to. And within a couple times I was getting little mini Rayleighs on a short rope without even really trying. And then doing back rolls and stuff on it was really easy. So the driver of the 2.0 has control of the pulley system, so if it looks like you're gonna die and he's gonna stop it and you won't get crushed, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a thing they call the Indian line on the cable, and it's basically a really, really short rope that doesn't even really touch the water or barely touches the water. You actually have to swim out to it, grab the rope, and then the cable operator starts it, and that's how you might have seen in the past those really high pictures of parks doing, Rayleighs 40 foot up in the air and S-bends like really high up in the air. That kind of theory, they took that to the System 2, and they use the same type of short rope, and basically you just load it up a little bit, and the machine and the physics of it just kind of pull you up in the air, and you don't really have to work hard to try to throw your feet out behind you. It just kind of naturally does it. So, and then on the way down, if you mess up, you're getting pulled from almost straight up. So you don't crash hard in the water. You kind of drag on top of the water, and the cable operator can stop you right away. So that way you kind of just drag, splash, stop, and it's a really low impact way to learn. So it's pretty cool. I haven't actually tried it yet. I've seen a lot of videos of it and kind of know what it's all about, but I can't wait to get out there and try it for myself. You got someone saying hi.
Yeah, Cooper. Hey, Cooper, are you still out in Orlando or are you back in California now? We got someone wanting to know what's a good age for kids to start wakeboarding.
Wakeboard mom, what's a good age for kids to start learning to wakeboard? That's really, I mean, that's a hard one. There's so many different ways that you can kind of break them. What I did with my daughter is she was a little timid of the boat and being out on the water. So what I did was I'd take her out with me coaching, and in between sets she liked to swim around with the life vest on behind the boat. So what I would do is I'd throw the rope out, and I would have her swim to the rope, grab onto the rope, no board on her feet, and I would actually just pull her in to get her used to getting pulled through the water. And then I talked her into putting her board on and swimming out, getting the handle, and then I would just pull her in by hand with the board on her feet, just kind of plowing through the water just to get that feel. So it just wasn't quite intimidating. And then on a really short rope, I just kind of idled, in the getting up position, just idled forward and got her used to that kind of pull. And that's kind of how we broke the ice on it. And we're still working on it. She still hasn't, fully wakeboarded yet, but it's kind of a slow baby step way to kind of get someone comfortable. Another way you can do it is pull someone around on wet grass on their board, or in shallow water, like a young child. You can put two handles together, sit them in really shallow water, like on a beach. You can pull them down the beach pretty easily too. So that's another way. So it's hard to say what age. It just kind of really depends on your kid. Let's see. Larry, why do you want to learn Rayleighs? They're so played out. Actually, Rayleighs made a huge comeback along with wrap spins this year. More and more people are learning how to do S-bends because they're finding out that they kind of need that stuff in their passes to do well in competition. So played out maybe, but they're back. Let's see. Warrior Girl, do you think it's easier to do tricks if the boat is going faster, or can you just edge out harder? You want to go?
Oh, I think slower is better to learn things, for sure. The falls aren't nearly as hard. We do a lot of things at the camp at super slow speeds just to get the right body position and the form down, and then kind of speed it up once you get it dialed. Do you agree?
Yeah, progressively. We start slow and then progressively work back to your normal riding speed. Most of what we teach at the camp is based around safety and lower impact ways to learn. So you can always learn tricks one wake. Like I was actually teaching one of our students, Laurent from France, how to do one wake heelside 540s, and a lot of people don't even think that's possible. But we were able to slow the speed down to like 19 miles an hour on a little bit longer rope, and do one wake 540s to teach him how to spin faster. So that way when he goes a little bit faster and goes a little bit bigger, it'll feel like he can spin slower to land the 5. So there's always a lower impact way to learn, no matter what trick you're doing. And that's kind of how we that's our standard at the camp, is to help people take less crashes and learn faster at the same time. So next question. JRH edge harder is harder if the boat is going fast enough. Let's see. Mitch, any tips for proper grabs? Well, first off, you got to learn all your standard grabs, and then mix in. Well, let's start off with Indy. One of the most common things for people to do on an Indy grab is if your knees. I'm gonna put my knees up like this. If Indy's here, a lot of times they'll grab straight down and they'll hit their knee just like that. So what I suggest on an Indy, you want to grab right in between your feet, but if you try to grab towards your front foot, for me, I'm regular. If you try to grab towards your front foot, your arm falls in between your knees better, and then you can fall into the position a lot easier. So that's a tip for Indy. When you're a good tip for all the grabs is to, when you're waiting or after a fall, when you're floating in the water, is to practice the grabs in the water, and just practice all the standard ones. Tail, nose, Indy, mute, melon, and stalefish. Once you get all those down, then you can start adding nose bones and shifties and all that stuff. But in between falls, I think, is a good place to.
Yeah, and I find that sometimes, when you're trying to learn a tail grab, if you actually look at the grab, it'll help you kind of get it. A lot of times people kind of struggle with the tail because they're looking forward to the boat and they kind of chase it. So if you actually look at the tail, you get a look at it, grab it, and that way you have a proper grab instead of getting kind of Tindy-ish.
Nice. Cooper says he's still in Orlando.
Yeah, Coop, let's ride.
Good old Coop. I don't know, Coop. Wake Dude's got a question for you.
If you want to learn Spanish, definitely come to the camp in July. You'll learn all the Spanish you need.
What's a better way to learn Spanish than to actually take Rosetta Stone? Of course.
I don't know.
You've seen the infomercials, right?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, come to the wakeboard camp in July and you'll learn some Spanish. Stuff they won't teach you in classes.
Nice. Mitch, tips for wrap spins. Oh man, this is your man right here because I'm no wrap spinner.
Well, like the way I got decent at doing wrap spins was just edge around wraps and not even worry about doing wake jumps. Just edge, heel side, toe side, front side wrap, back side wrapped. Get comfortable doing ollies, maybe even some re-entries wrapped. Then just do one wake jumps wrap so you can learn how to get in the air without releasing that wrap handle and spinning early. And then once you're ready for wake to wake, you'll know for sure. Even try some of the spins one wake. Some of them are a little harder, but like most of your 360s are pretty easy to do one wake. Front side wrapped spins, I would say definitely make sure you keep a little slack or looseness in between the big handle and the wrap handle, so that if you do release early, you won't get unwound off the wake. But the best thing I'd say, just ride around wrapped and get used to it. It's funky feeling.
So what you're saying is if you can't ride wrap, you're not going to be comfortable enough to take off and
Yeah, for
control the
sure.
trick.
It's just like
That makes sense.
wakeboarding. You know, if you're not comfortable edging, or which the normal wakeboard stance, you definitely have a hard time when you get in the air or try to do a trick. So I actually last week I had a camper who wanted to try wrapped heel side front side threes, and I made him the first half of the set just edge around wrapped, and he was worn out, but when he started trying the threes one way, he was landing them no problem, so he was pumped.
Wakeboard mom, how old is your daughter? She actually turned 7 on Saturday, but she started trying to wakeboard early this, kind of in springish. So she started a little later than a lot of children that I know. Matt Brown at Super Moomba, he's the product development guy. He started his son Benjamin, I think, at 3 years old. It might even have been younger. I'm not sure. I think 3 though. He had an interesting way to kind of help him start wakeboarding. He would actually, while his wife was driving, he would actually sit on the platform and hold the board on a short rope. So, you know, that way he could help his son balance. His son could lean against the rope, but he could hold his hand on the board and help him balance. So if his son would kind of fall heel side, he was able to turn the board heel side and kind of stand him back up and guide him around and just get him comfortable like that. And if he fell, he just, you know, let go of the rope, and Matt was back there. It's probably not legal, but you know, he's around boats all the time, and he's definitely qualified to do this, do it that way. But it's a pretty interesting way to teach. It sounds like a really good idea, and I saw a little video of it, and it worked really good. So, yeah. Next question, Warrior Girl. Chad, can you help someone do a pork chop What's a pork chop 360?
Can only be done in the state of Washington. That's where that trick was invented, and I think that's where it should stay.
What is it?
I was doing a clinic with some people, and we were having some fun. Every time someone fell, they gave me a word that I had to kind of put into my instruction. And one of the words was pork chop, and I told someone they had an awesome pork chop 360, and it kind of just stuck as a really cool trick.
Awesome. Mitch, Rayleigh shouldn't be scored well in a contest. Neither should S-bends. I thought we were beyond that as sport. I have a sneaky suspicion that might be someone we know.
Yeah.
Mish, why do you feel so much anger against Rayleigh-based tricks? Wake Dude. Kyle, I've asked you this before, but when is the art lab going to be up for humanoid? That's a question for my partner Mike McLean because he's actually building the art lab. Sorry if I sound like I'm eating. I love Skittles, so I'm chomping on Skittles. It's my favorite candy. Best candy ever made. That's a plug for Skittles. No, actually, Mike McLean is designing the art lab, and he's working on it right now, so hopefully pretty soon. It's going to be really cool. So, yeah, soon. Real soon. We're still kind of pushing forward on the whole humanoid thing. It's tough times in the economy, so bear with us. We're going to do it. All right. Freakish. How much is the camp?
When do you want to come? Prices change throughout the season. Peak season, March 1st through September 1st, is $15.75. Right now, if you come to the camp between, well, next week, after Thanksgiving and January 16th, it's $1,000.
Yeah, we're running a big special.
Huge special.
For the beginning of the month of December, basically, until January 16th.
16th, I believe.
$1,000 for a week of wakeboard camp, and we've had awesome weather down here so far. So, I mean, you can't beat that. And then peak season,
$15.75.
starts March 1st.
March 1st.
March 1st.
It goes through September 1st. But if you bring a group of people, we give you a discount. So load up your friends and come to the camp.
Yep, and that's everything. That's everything except for your airfare. So, I mean, that's food, lodging, lessons for a week of wakeboarding, which is a really good deal. So, all right, Chuck. I hear you guys are running a special. Yeah, we just talked about that. Nice. Yeah, it's $1,000. You actually have to go on our website, on our homepage. We have a blog, and there's a blog post about the special, and you have to email us and mention the winter special, $1,000 special, to get the offer. So go to the wakeboardcamp.com is the website. Go there and check out the blog. Wake Dude, right there.
What degree what's your college degree? I got a degree in recreational management from San Diego State.
Nice.
So I'm kind of actually doing what I got my degree in, which is something I never thought I would be doing.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Freakish. Where's the camp? The camp is in Claremont, Florida. Right outside of Orlando, about 40 minutes away from Orlando International Airport. So we're west of Orlando. Mish, do you remember riding with me at Carlsbad Lagoon? I ride the Covenant 145. I met Kyle when I came to wakeboard camp in '98. '98, wow. Currently, I reside in Michigan. Do you remember that person?
I wasn't at the camp in '98.
Well, no, they said they met you at Carlsbad Lagoon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. We rode. Yeah. That was when I was out there last spring. You worked at the lagoon, right? You were out there working, if I remember correctly. And now you're back in Michigan. It's a tough place to leave San Diego or Carlsbad.
I'd probably remember you if I saw your face. I'm good at remembering faces. Let's see. Wakeboard Mom. What is the art lab? The art lab, if you go to humanoidwake.com, the art lab is a place where you're going to be able to design your own wakeboard graphics. You'll be able to actually upload your own graphics and assets and everything like that, and or use our gallery of assets to design your own board. So pretty cool. It's a little more expensive than buying just one of the stock graphics and stock boards. It's a little more custom, so a little more one-off. That way you won't have the same board that everybody else has. So pretty cool. Hopefully we'll get that done here pretty soon. Warrior Girl, are you going to do this show every week? Actually, every month. I try to do it the first Tuesday. Actually, are you asking Chad or are you asking me? No, I'm just kidding. I try to do it the first Tuesday of every month. This month we were moving our office, so I skipped the first month, and then I couldn't do the second Tuesday because Amber Wing does the second Tuesday of every month. So I had to actually do tonight. So Yeah, I try to do the first Tuesday of every month. So yeah, again next Tuesday of December, first Tuesday in December. Let's see, Chuck, how's the weather at the camp right now?
It's great. I've been wakeboarding the last 2 days in board shorts and a vest, no top. Well, it's probably about high 70s, low 80s air. The water's about 75, and no wind, no humidity. The air conditioning doesn't have to be on. Might be the best time of year to be here in Claremont, Florida.
Yeah, the last 2 days have been glassy. The whole lake just glassed off, completely calm. We had a little bit of wind. It was only like a little wind chop this morning, but then it just completely stopped and the whole lake was calm. It was awesome. Let's see. Wake dude, go to the camp in July if you want to learn some Spanish. Nice. McNasty, Chad, what's up?
What's up, Mike? How are things out in California?
Mike.
Mike McMillan, worked with him when I was out there at Mike Schweeney's camp for a summer.
Nice.
Cool guy. I think he's working for Red Bull now.
It says he came to wakeboard camp last summer and 2 summers ago. Stuck to the same like.
Maybe not.
Maybe
Maybe not.
Mish. Trevor Baylor, big fan of the wakeboard camp. Taught me Railies, but I think they're lame. So that's the theme of our show tonight. Railies are lame. Freakish. Dude, West Coast is where it's at. You gonna throw up a West Side?
Yeah. I grew up there, but I reside in Florida now, but I think West Coast still has my heart.
You're bi-coastal.
Yeah.
Mish, I was the first kid to finish your 20-minute drill with all the surface and all 180s. Nice. Yes. 20-minute drill. Oh, 2 minute. Maybe did it actually take 20 minutes to do the drill? I think you meant 2 minute, but let's see. Warrior Girl Chad. There's a question for you.
Yeah, Warrior Girl, I was bummed that I didn't get to party with all the girls in San Diego, but I was on my way on a surf trip, so I was only in there for for a night actually.
Wait, dude, I've been to the camp for 4 years. Great place. Man, loyal. Return camper. We also have a return camper discount too, so I bet Wake Dude's been taking advantage of that. Yeah, every time you come back to the camp, you get more money off each time, so pretty cool. Is there going to be another all-girls clinic? Most definitely. I imagine when Haley Smith and Amber Wing, when they get back for our summer next year, they'll set one up. We think that went really well this year, so I definitely have a feeling that they'll do another one.
Yeah, and I think this year we're going to market a little more. This is kind of just an experimental thing to see if we could get some interest. So I think next year we're going to definitely hit the marketing a little hard and see if we can get the camp to fill up and do an actual like all girls week.
Yeah, because we had a good turnout this time, the first time, so it's only up from here. Zach, hopefully be there in a month. Nice. We'll see you in a month. Wake Dude, did Bob get sponsored by company recently?
Yeah.
Yes. He's walking around the camp with a company hat on, and he's been riding company boards. So I don't know the details of the sponsorship, but I'm gonna go with yes on that one. And congratulations to Bob, because that's actually to be part of that crew. I think is a compliment and kind of an honor. You know, if Justin Stevens and that crew of people, think that you're, legit enough to be a part of their crew, that says a lot about your riding. So, nice job on that, Bob. McNasty, Chad, you still riding the Witness and the Ultras?
Yes, I am. I'm really pumped on the 010 Ultras that Liquid Force is putting out this year. They look awesome. I've seen them, tried them on. They feel great. I think they're going to be a big seller this year.
Yeah, they're nice. I actually can't wait to ride them too. Let's see. It might take me 20 minutes because nice. Is that Billy?
Could be Billy. That sounds like a good
Like our Billy Park,
Yeah.
you think? Chad, what is your favorite ungrabbed railing variation? Definitely.
I think Barley's toe side ungrabbed Rayleigh was about the coolest Rayleigh thing I've ever seen. So
Back when he was on the Flight 69?
yeah,
Yeah, that was good.
the narrow stance and everything.
Yep. Oh, let's see. 911. Mish likes the 911. Parks used to do good 911s. On the Connolly T2. Man, I'm old. But it should be called a backside shifty. Yep. But see, that was back when, they were still naming tricks. Everybody was naming tricks. So, wait, dude, are the Ultras like the old ones? Yeah, kind of.
Kind of. I mean, but they've got the new and improved 2010 stuff, so they're definitely
They're lace ups, so
Yeah.
they're not fully like the old ones. They
No.
still have the same strap structure. The under overlay is pretty similar, so you kind of get that same hold that the other Ultras do, but with the ease of a front lace up system. So,
but they're still real flexy, so you can like feel like you got that flexible feel in the binding. They're not stiff like some of the bindings, so they have the feel of the Ultras still.
and the release.
The
of
release,
Ultras.
which is what I like about them. I like coming out of my bindings when I catch a bad edge.
McNasty, what trick should be called the Billy Maze? I have no idea. No
I
clue.
don't know.
That's a weird question. Have you seen the slap chop guy on the infomercials? The guy who does the chopper? He's crazy. Billy, wise choice. Ugh. Burp contest. What? Get some random questions tonight. Not as much talk about instruction as we expected.
Here we go.
What are some good skill developments going from toe side wake to wake to adding tricks? You want to go or you want me to?
Well, I mean, just going from a toe side wake to wake to doing a toe side 180 or toe side 360, basically be able to do toe side jumps and kind of grab the board and be comfortable in the air. And then I'm going to let Kyle go for the rest of that, or such as like a scarecrow. Then definitely learn a toe side 180 wake jumper. That'll help you with your comfort on landing in that position.
Well, this comes up a lot. I mean, you say scarecrow. A scarecrow is actually a front roll to fakie. So you should actually learn a front roll first, a toe side front roll first, just to build a good foundation and to ensure that you go over the top or as opposed to around the back. A lot of people when they learn scarecrows first, they spin before they flip, and then the board travels around the back, and they struggle with the landing. So if you learn the toe side front roll first, you'll trip it better. You'll get a more straighter up pop. You'll go over the rope, and then you should turn on the way down. It kind of like if you did a tantrum to fakie. You do a tantrum first, and then you spin on the way down. Same thing with a front roll to fakie or a scarecrow. Front roll first, spin on the way down. So you have to kind of break up your tricks. Like if you're going to learn a toe side 3, toe side front side 3, break it up into the two 180s. Make sure you can do the 180s on some sort of level. You don't have to be able to do them both wake to wake, but for instance, a toe side front side 3, it'd be smart to be able to do good toe side jumps, good toe side front side 180s wake to wake, and then maybe even switch heel side backside ollie 180s just so you have the last, or even surface backside 180s switch. So that way you have the last part of the trick down, and then you can piece that all together and try the toe side front side 3. So I guess my advice would be to break your goal trick down into parts. Make sure you can do the parts first and then come back to your goal trick, and it should function better.
Yeah, I agree totally.
Let's see. Wake dude, I ride the old Ultras, took a lot of falls this summer. Coming out of the boots definitely helped. Yeah. There's some controversy on that whole subject though. The thing about it is it's best if you come out of both boots, but not if you come out of one, because if you come out of one and your foot stays in the other, then the board can twist your knees, and a lot of knee injuries happen that way. But the theory is if you can come out of both, you don't stop really hard and take that hard fall. You can kind of come out of your boots, roll forward into the water, and it decreases the impact because you're still moving forward instead of stopping dead.
Yeah, I definitely think coming out of both is a plus. Coming out of one's no bueno.
Yeah. I actually ride the Sovins right now, but I actually have them right here. But as you can see, my Sovins have no Velcro straps at the top, so I actually only ride the bottom laces. So that way, I'm held tight to the board, so I get that responsiveness. But that way I can come out real easy if I take a hard fall, and that kind of decreases the impact of your falls. So kind of simulates the old Ultra feel. So let's see. Did we miss anything? I can do a 360 pretty easily, but I can't land the tantrum. Okay. Didn't mean to send. Haha. Nice. I can 360 pretty easily, but I can't land a tantrum. Guys, suggestions on landing the tantrum. I can backflip on the ground, so it shouldn't be too hard. I teach tantrums kind of a strange way. I teach them with one-handed approaches, one wake, and then I actually have people let go of the rope, hit the wake, flip, let go of the rope, and try to land without the rope in their hands. That way, that they get used to just trying to land in balance, because for a tantrum, you don't really land with a lot of line tension, or you shouldn't land with a lot of line tension. So if you can pop off the wake with the rope, let go of the rope in midair, land, balance, and kind of coast out of it, you kind of work towards holding onto the rope. And you can do it one wake on a longer rope at slower speeds and just kind of, get more comfortable. And then once you can start landing with the rope one wake, then you work up to a shorter rope.
Yeah.
Two wakes, I think, is the best way. But any suggestions?
No, just a lot of times people that have a hard time doing tantrums, I have them try to do a one-handed toe side back roll at first, so they can just get used to that flipping motion. And if they have a hard time getting upside down, a lot of times spinners don't like going upside down. That's kind of an easier way to get into going upside down.
Yeah, I mean, a toe side back roll is a more simplified flip. You don't have the complicated edge change of a tantrum. Tantrum, you gotta like trip yourself to get the pop. Toe side back roll, you just kind of edge through and throw a backflip. And if you do it one-handed, then everything's in line with the rope. All you're doing is edging in and throwing your head back and your hips forward. So it's a really simple flip to kind of comprehend. So yeah, I mean, it's quickly becoming one of the first inverts that we teach. It used to be back roll tantrum all the time, and now toe side back roll is kind of getting in the mix. So yeah, that's a good route. Toe side back rolls first, and then go back to tantrums for sure. You got a question?
The Bronx doing good, dude, bro.
Dude, bro.
And I saw one up there from Chuck. The barbecue bro jam that we had this year at the camp. If Liquid Force wants to do another one, we'd love to do another one. We're talking about doing something a little different. Maybe bringing out Urban Rider, doing a pool thing instead of a jet ski. Kind of do that. So hopefully we'll do it again this year.
Where'd you see that?
It was up there, Chuck, right there.
Oh, there it is. Nice. Yeah, the barbecue bro down was pretty cool. Yeah, we hope to do that bigger and better this year. Again, that was another experimental first time event at the camp, so hopefully we can pull that off better next time. Looks like Cassie Sitchell's on.
What's up, Cassie? There's
How's it
your shout
going?
out.
3 exclamation points. She's excited.
Yeah.
Cassie actually just landed her first toe side, backside 180, one wake. Was it last Friday?
Yeah.
That's a pretty big feat. So that's pretty cool. Congratulations on that one.
Yeah, way to go, Cassie.
Um, right there, wake dude. Yeah, I always come out of both boots. Didn't hurt nearly as bad as when I rode the Watsons. Yep. Watsons are really comfortable boots, though. The Watson closed toes, really, really comfortable. Again, if I rode them, I wouldn't ride the top laces. I would just ride the bottom laces. Cooper S. That's for you.
To San Diego Cooper, but it's got a little some paint splotches on it. Check it out right there.
Nice. Dave from South Carolina. What's up, Chad and Kyle? What's up, Dave? How's it going?
I think Dave put up some videos on Facebook of his trip to the wakeboard camp the last couple weeks. Good times.
Yeah, that brought back some memories for sure. Good to hear from you. When you guys coming back? We love having you guys at the camp. Mike, do you guys ever wake skate? I don't. I should, but
I used to a lot more when I lived in San Diego. I've been kind of stuck in straps since I moved to Florida, but yeah, I mean, I wish I did more actually, to be honest.
let's talk about that for a second. It says, I find making the transition to skate pretty difficult after strapping in. Yeah, it actually, the other way, if you wake skate a lot, the transition from wake skating to wakeboarding is really easy. A good example is James Balzer almost won Bro Stock. He got what, second?
Yeah.
Or something? Yeah, and then Aaron Reed almost made it to the finals, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the most telling things is Aaron Reed doing 720s on a wakeboard after he learned to do a 360 on a wake skate.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron never wakeboards, and he's able to just strap into a wakeboard and do whatever he wants. I think wake skating definitely helps your wakeboarding, but I'm not quite sold on wakeboarding helping wake skating. You just got to wake skate a lot. I think it definitely helps your wakeboarding now.
Be patient.
Yeah. Dude, bro. A little conversation amongst themselves. Dave for said, yep, that's me, dude, bro. Wake dude. Favorite boat? Chad?
I'm gonna have to go with the Malibus. I ride behind those at the camp every day. I love the wake. If you make it big, it's good. If you ride it medium size, it's good. And if you want to ride a small wake, it's still good. And it's one of the better boats to coach behind because the wake's always really good.
I have a Moomba LSV, and I named her. She's completely Reuben red, so I named her Regina, Red Gina. So I love my boat. She's great. She's female. You got to name your boat, right?
Yeah, I think so. Kyle's wake's really good too. It's definitely up there in one of my top wakes.
Cooper S. Intriguing. What?
The hat, I think.
Oh, the hat. Chuck. I've been to the wakeboard camp a lot. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Chuck. Is there a training procedure that all the coaches go through because you all seem to be on the same page? Yeah, we collaborate a lot. We try to have coaches meetings. Everybody that starts to work at the camp shadows the people that have been there the longest. So we try to make sure that our program's on par. Like everybody's kind of teaching on the same style, and I think that's what makes our program so good. We all give each other ideas, and we're not afraid to say that we're learning every day. You know, we're coming up with new drills and new ways to teach more safely and just help people progress faster. So I'd say a lot of us are pretty creative too. So if we see a problem that we've never seen before, we're able to come up with something to help fix the problem kind of on the fly. So I think that's a talent that a lot of our coaches have, which is pretty cool. And it kind of goes hand in hand with our style of coaching. The way that we break stuff down and the structure of it kind of helps you work, helps the coaches work through problems as they occur on the water with students. So pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things is when we're coaching, a lot of times we'll talk about just coaching stuff like in the office and kind of run things past other coaches and what's working for you lately, what's not working. And it's kind of a real open relationship at the camp with no one's a better coach than another person. It's just everyone kind of works together just to keep the coaching up at a high level.
Yeah, we're really good at communicating. Like for instance, Billy Park, he coached Monday afternoon, and I was working Monday morning. So he actually sent me an email, uh, and kind of just went over what he actually did with all the students. So that way we're both, I was on track for the morning, and I could kind of proceed with what he left off with. So that was pretty cool. So thanks, Billy Park, for that. Let's see. Dude, bro, why doesn't Benny G's boat have a swim platform? um, it's actually a legitimate excuse. Ben leaves his boat on a screw anchor. We have bungee anchors along our shore, and when the boat sits in the water, the waves kind of rock the swim platform, kind of back and forth, and or up and down, I should say, and it wears out the platform. So instead of wearing out bracket after bracket after bracket, since he leaves his boat in the water so much, he just took the swim platform off completely. So I keep telling him he needs a rope ladder that he can open up the back compartment, throw a rope ladder out, and then climb up the rope ladder.
Yeah. Well, his boat's so loaded. I mean, it's not that high out of the water to get into after you get done riding.
Yeah, the front kind of curves down too, so you pull up to the rider with the nose and just kind of crawl in the front. He's got a good system going and a huge wake. Dude, bro, how's Xavier? I haven't seen Xavier in a long time.
He came by the camp not too long ago, but he's been riding a lot on the cables, I think. That's what he's saying.
We'll skip that question. Mish. As a snowboarder, to me, the approach is not that important. It's the direction of spin frontside or backside, flip, roll, back, front or back. Your thoughts? Ah, man. Well, here's a question for you. In snowboarding, you have to make sure that your takeoff or your approach to the wake is, perfect. Like you have to be flat well, it really depends on the trick, but if you're on the wrong edge or if you're not flat for some tricks or you have to kind of edge through the jump, I mean, it's kind of the same with ours. I don't snowboard as much as you do, so you'd probably be better for this question.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have too much of an opinion on, what things are called. I mean, so many tricks in wakeboarding and everything's been, called the wrong things. It's kind of just been the way. There is really no half cab in wakeboarding, but it's still known as half cab. So I think just if you're going to list your trick, tell your approach, the way you're going to spin, and how many rotations you're going to do, and just call it that.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to hit rails, just talk like you're hitting it on a snowboard or a skateboard. That's my opinion, at least.
Right. So, Mish, what exactly are you asking? Because it looks like you're talking about like the name of the trick specifically. Because I'm a little confused on that one.
That's it. You got it down here.
Oh, right. When riding pipe, they don't call it toe side, front side 5. Well, yeah, that's because it's more in respect to how you ride a wave in surfing. It's a little different for us since it's just different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have toe side approaches because, there's 2 different ways you can approach the wake. I know you can approach a half pipe the same way, but when you're going down a half pipe, you're either front side or your back side when you take off and how you spin off the top. So every sport's got their little fine details. So I'm getting what you're saying now. So I'm on the same track with you. But yeah, every sport has its standards, and you got to stick to those standards. So there's a structure. You know what I mean? If there was no structure, then I don't know, it'd just be a huge mess. The structure kind of helps us teach too. Specific lingo. Learning the lingo in wakeboarding is probably one of the most important parts. One of the first things that you should learn. If you like, we actually teach naming convention uh, at the camp, like how you should actually say the names of the order you should say the name of a trick. Like first it should be the stance, then the edge, then the direction you spin, and then how far you spin, or the stance, the edge, and then like what type of flip you're doing. If you mix that all up, then you can't visualize it and walk yourself through it as good, and you just don't learn as fast that way. So structure is good. Let's see, Big Daddy's got one for you.
Yeah, the Moses Lake Ski Centurion has a really good wake. It's definitely one of the better clinics that I've done.
Where's that?
Up in Washington.
Is that where do you just do that one? Or
I did it. I go there every June.
So, every June you did.
Yeah.
June. Wake dude, how does Benny get on his boat without the platform? He climbs in the front. But I mean, Benny's a pretty strong dude. He could get in wherever he wants. He swims really fast too, so sometimes he dives down, swims up, and just darts out of the water like a dolphin and just lands in his boat. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't do that. No, most of the time everybody climbs in the front. Wakeboard San Diego. Do you guys believe in stretching programs? Definitely. I think one of the most important stretches you should do is you should stretch this part right here. So a good stretch for that, I'm gonna back up. A good stretch for that is kind of push your hips forward and stretch right through here. Because in wakeboarding we tend to sit a lot and we pull our knees up a lot. So you get, and we use our back muscles a lot. So it kind of you work out and strengthen specific muscles that make your pelvis tilt all wrong, and we get what's called sway backs. So we all have arches in our backs from always resisting the pull. So you get dominant in the wrong muscles, and then your back kind of goes out, and I'm kind of proof of that. So what I have people do is I have them stretch this part right here, and I have them kind of push forward, but then straighten their leg. So see how I'm kind of straightening my leg, and that gives you a really good stretch right here. That's one of the best stretches, I think. Chad's got a bunch too.
Yeah, I mean, as I've gotten older, I've found out that stretching has helped me stay wakeboarding. I've started to feel old a couple of years ago, and I started stretching more instead of lifting in the gym, and it helped me feel a lot better out there on the wakeboard. And I also had surgery on my knee last November, and the physical therapist just had me on a really crazy stretch program, which helped me get back a lot quicker than I thought I was going to. So I think we might be doing, I might be helping out Kyle with Learn Wake and doing some off-season stuff this winter on stretching and strengthening. It's one of the plans.
It's important stuff. You should also warm up, kind of get your, we promote a series of steps that you should do at the beginning of every set. When you start riding, if you do, we say you should carve around on both sides of the wake. You should do ollies, and then you should do re-entries, and that kind of takes you through a short, quick little warm-up on each side of the wake, so that way when you do your first jump you have less chances of taking a fall because you're more acclimated. So stuff like that, even running in place on the back of the boat, jumping up and down, getting the blood flowing, stuff like that is really good for instead of just jumping in the water and immediately starting riding or start to ride. So a lot of the guys are getting into like yoga, Pilates, stuff like that too. So let's see, Mish. When riding pipe, they don't call it. Well, yeah, in snowboarding, they definitely don't use toe side and heel side. They just say front side and back side. But in wakeboarding, we definitely say toe side and heel side. Mish. I just don't like it when people say toe 7, heel 9. Yeah, I don't really like that either. Especially when people say, like backside ones, stuff like that. It only takes a couple seconds to say, the rest of it 180 or whatever. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I rather just say the whole name. JR. Speaking of snowboarding, I just saw a post on Learn Wake where you referred to edging being similar to snowboarding. Front foot heavy, turning with your back foot. I've never thought of it this way. Can you elaborate? Um, when you look at someone edging out away from the wakes, what I look at is their board position, and if I can see at least 3 of their fins while they're making a decently aggressive edge out, then they're in proper position. And what that tells me is, I'm actually going to pull out a wakeboard here. Ooh. Little shameless plug right there, humanoid. What that tells me is, I'm trying to get the camera here. Okay. What that tells me is they're using more of this part of the board rather than kind of the board sitting, tail heavy with the fins tracking. So when someone's edging, if I can see this fin and the front 2 fins and almost see this fin, then that tells me that the board's more level and they're using the edge of the board. If I can't see any of these fins, that means their board's in the wrong position and it's deep in the water and they're kind of just tracking out rather than edging out. So that's kind of why I made that comparison to snowboarding, because like if you're riding ice pack on a snowboard and you want to stop, you kind of have to slide to a stop, which is kind of like edging, or edging in wakeboarding as well. So fins are kind of a crutch, and they don't necessarily help you build proper technique. So definitely got to learn to edge. Being more on your front foot definitely is better technique. So anything to add to that, Shannon?
No, it's pretty much covered it.
Let's see.
We've got a little bit of a battle going on about wakeboarding terminology.
Yeah, I wish we could simplify the terminology. It's pretty simple once you get used to it. Hank, that's just how the tricks were now. Yeah. Let's see.
I saw a question about what kind of surgery I had. I
had
had
it
a
right there.
torn meniscus, and I had it repaired last November. And instead of removing it, they repaired it, so it's a little longer rehab, but I still have my meniscus intact. So it looks like you're having your meniscus fixed to be young. Good luck. You'll come back stronger. I haven't felt this good in like 3 years, so it was an ongoing problem for me, so I was pretty pumped when I got back on the water.
Plus, you're forced to do some physical therapy, which, like when I blew out my knee, when I got back to 100%, I felt like I got back to 110% just because I was working out. I was forced to work out to get my leg back in strength and back to strength. And I felt like that was when I was riding my best, was after my first knee surgery, because I felt stronger just from the initiative of working out and getting in shape again. So,
Yeah.
and the drive, because when you're injured, you have this, it kind of lights a fire, and you really want to get back, and you're motivated. So,
I know when I came back, I started off small, just edging around, working on edge technique, landing edges, and started off one wake. Didn't really even start going wake to wake for a while, and kind of just got my foundations dialed in. Got some things that may have been a weakness that I'd kind of overlooked over the years. I got that kind of dialed in, so it's a pretty good way to get back into wakeboarding. It was a nice break and pretty cool. And I know when I was friends with Kyle and I broke my leg in San Diego.
we're not friends anymore.
Well, I mean, before I was working here, I called him, and Kyle helped me on a rehab program to tell me, take it slow, start wake skating, wake surfing when you come back, and it really helps just to get back on the water and just start real slow.
Wake surfing. Wake surfing's a good workout too. Like when the doctor clears you to start riding, or clears you to get back in the water a little bit, and like wake surfing, switch with your back foot or your bad leg on your back foot or back tail of the board. man, like having to pump the wake and wake surfing all the time, man, that really got me in shape. And it's a little safer too. So if you fall, you just kind of dive off, and there's not really a lot of risk involved. So let's see, we're still battling about the lingo. Mish, you're still on that, huh? You must be a big snowboarder. Actually, you said snowboarding is our blueprint. That's actually not really true in my opinion. Surfing was the original. We get a lot of our terms from surfing. We get a lot of terms from skateboarding, and then some from snowboarding. So all three of them are kind of our blueprint. We're the youngest board sport of the bunch. Um, so yeah. Mike, I feel like when I do reentries, I'm not utilizing the power of the wake. I just feel like I'm ollieing off the lip and not getting much more pop. Is it a timing thing, line tension, or what? Excuse me, man, Coca-Cola makes you burp. One of the biggest mistakes that I see when people do reentries is they try to take an approach at the wake instead of just kind of sitting next to the wake. Like, you should actually not edge at the wake. You should sit against the face and kind of just get caught up in the flow. And you start at the bottom with your knees bent, and then you kind of get caught up in the flow, get up to the top, and then as you rise to the top, you ollie back down to the bottom. But you definitely have to switch directions, then ollie. But don't actually take an approach when you do reentries, because then you won't be able to switch directions, and you just won't get any pop whatsoever.
Yeah, I like to tell people to pretend that there's a wall at the top of that wake, and you're just going to air out of the wake like you're in a half pipe or something, because if you go over, you're going to hit that wall. So don't use any edge, just kind of pop off the wake and come right down where you just started from. Just pretend there's a wall there and you can't go past it.
Right. Another good drill is to go out in the flats, and it's, usually you ollie straight up off the water. What I have people do sometimes is I have them stand flat on the board, but try to ollie 3 feet to the right or 3 feet to the left. So that way you get used to leaning and ollieing off of your lean. Because when you do reentries, you got to go up, you got to lean in the direction you want to ollie, and then you got to ollie like back down to the bottom, and then kind of start over and kind of keep that flow going. So most people, when they do reentries, they want to try to go up the wake and then ollie straight up instead of ollieing out back down to the bottom of the wake. So another good little tip. Let's see. Warrior Girl, do you think snowboarding helps with wakeboarding? Definitely. Definitely. We have something to lean against, which is kind of like having a little crutch, You don't have to use your balance as much because you have something holding you up. Snowboarders, they got to hone their balance skills a lot better. So I definitely think it helps. What do you think?
I totally agree. I think anything you can do on a board will help with any other board sport. Surfing, skateboarding, snowboarding, it all crosses over in some way. Snowboarding's awesome for wakeboarding when it comes to dealing with hitting rails and stuff. Like, it just kind of crosses over a lot easier than, say, going off of a jump on a snowboard compared to a wakeboard. But I think anything you do on a board will help your wakeboarding.
Yeah, a lot of the pros do crossover sports all the time, and when they're doing boat shows in the winter, they're hitting the slopes before the boat shows in the evening. Ben does that a lot out in Utah or Salt Lake.
Yep.
Salt Lake Boat Show. He goes out to the mountains in the mornings and then goes to the boat show in the afternoons. So a lot of people surf. When you're in Florida, you got the coast right, about an hour and a half away. So a lot of people go surfing, which helps you stay in shape because you got to paddle a lot. So yeah, crossover sports are good. Golf really helps your wakeboarding. Let's see. Do you think so? We did that one, and use the word milk in a sentence. Milk. It does the body good.
Hey, there you go.
Pass it on. Remember those old commercials? Let's see, where are we?
Let's see, how
long was the recovery?
For me, the recovery for the repaired meniscus was 6 weeks, non-weight bearing, on crutches. which was really tough. But it was winter time, so it wasn't too bad. And then they said 5 months before return to sport. But if you have a good physical therapist that helps you out, I was back to wakeboarding in like 3 months. I actually started wakeboarding in 2, but I just got on board to ride because I was really, really needing to get out there. But 100%, that's tough. I had flare-ups all the way into June and July this year with my knee. I started traveling, wasn't able to get to the gym and do my physical therapy as much, and my legs swelled or my knee swelled up and had some flare-ups. So, I'd say it's at least 6-7 months, before you feel 100%. But you'll feel stronger if it gets repaired because you still have your full meniscus. Good luck with the surgery too.
Ron, this must be our boss.
Yeah.
You guys are the world's greatest wakeboard. Thanks, man. Thanks, Ron. Good looking out. JR, I was watching some older videos of Parks doing some temper tantrums, etc. And it got me wondering, are big spins more in style now rather than big inverts, etc.? And why is that? No, I think it's even now, because, Bob Sovin just landed the, trifecta they call it. It's a front roll, double front roll to scare, or it's a front roll to scarecrow basically, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think everybody's just still trying to push the sport kind of to the limit. So I think it's a happy medium. When you say
Yeah, I'd say it's a happy medium. I think each wakeboarder has their style. They like to spin more, or they like to go upside down a little more. So, the people that like to spin more will go for the bigger spins, and vice versa.
I think actually I kind of take that back. I think our sport's leaning more towards spins, like higher end spins, like 1080s, 900s, rather than double flips. You still see double flips every once in a while, but you see way more spins than you used to, off axis stuff, wrapped off axis stuff. So, let's see. Mish, Kyle dug the litmus. Thanks. Litmus, see, there it is right there. Hanging on my wall. And the Evo. Evo is good too. Yeah, I love that board when I was forced, but once I read the Covenant, I was sold. Snowboarding on the water, enough said. I've never read, I don't know what the Covenant, what is that?
I think
like
it's
like a Rome style,
yeah.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Wakeboard San Diego. Thanks guys for doing the show. See you next time. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, San Diego.
Hail Vandal. Mish. Nice. Billy O'Brien Apex is where it's at. Yep, that was my first board. Hey, for everybody that's on right now, just so you know, if you go to learnwake.com and sign up and use the coupon code StokeMeter, you can get a free week on learnwake.com. So just to try it out to see if you like it. So it's a coupon code, just so I'm gonna type it just so everybody has it. So go to learnwake.com, go to the sign up page. It'll ask you if you have a coupon code, hit yes, enter the coupon code, and you should get a free week on learnwake.com. So check that out. Man, it's already 10:06. We already did an hour. That was fast. Well, cool. Any last questions before Chad and I sign off for the evening?
Mike's got a question.
Oh, Mike's got one. I've really been digging watching the Shred Town videos on their blog. Have you all noticed some lesser known? Yeah, the cool thing about winches, I think, is it's allowing people to enter the sport a lot easier because you don't need a $50,000 to $70,000 wakeboard boat to enter the sport. So I think winching's good. Definitely some safety issues that need to be kind of looked at, I think. So, but no, winches are definitely really good for the sport. Anything to help grow the sport and help people enter the sport at a lesser cost is really going to help us. So, I think that's good.
Yeah, and I mean those guys from Shredtown have brought a whole different way of wakeboarding to everyone. Kind of they view things in a different way, which is awesome. The winch, cables, the boat. We're not just stuck behind one medium now. So some creative minds can get out there and start doing some stuff and just kind of expand our sport a little bit.
Yeah, I mean the cool thing now is it used to be there was two ways you could wakeboard, behind a boat or behind a cable. Now you can use a winch. Um, you have the system two. There's just so many different ways you can wakeboard now, which
You
is
behind
really
a
cool.
jet ski and
Yeah,
build
jet
some
ski.
rails,
So,
toe-ins with a jet ski.
yep,
So I think wakeboarding's, we're growing up. We're still young.
yep.
Let's see. Wake Shredder wants to know who our sponsors are.
Go ahead.
I ride for Liquid Force, Jet Pilot, Dragon Eyewear, and the Wakeboard Camp.
And UGP, humanoid wakeboards, performance ski and surf, Moomba boats, the wakeboard camp, learnwake.com. That doesn't really count because it's my website, but I guess you could say they sponsor me. And thebookdvd.com. So check all that stuff out. Mish, thanks for humoring me. Yeah, no worries. You guys are rad. Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Have a good snowboard season in Michigan. If you get out to San Diego again, maybe we can ride.
Casson? Who's Casson? WSS. Casson is a homo. Chad, another question. I'm gonna go ahead and take off. You can. No, I'm just kidding.
How many times have I been in the magazine? I've had a couple shots, luckily, but one shot's all I ever wanted, so I'm pretty pumped that I got one. So that's about it. Be young. Good luck with the surgery, man. You'll feel better when you get it. You'll be pumped when you're all back and riding.
All right. Looks like that's it. Last questions. High five. All right. Thanks everyone for coming on. Use that coupon code. Check out learnwake.com, wakeboardcamp.com, thebookdvd.com, humanoidwake.com, all those websites. And join us next month. Hopefully the first Tuesday of December for another episode, instructional episode. Might have Chad on here, or maybe another coach, or a couple coaches from the camp, and we'll see you guys, or see everyone next month. You got any last words?
No. Just if you guys want to come out and ride with us, we'll be here all year round here at the wakeboard camp.
Yeah, come take advantage of our $1,000 deal until was it February or January?
January
16th.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything to do for New Year's, come hang out with us. Should be good. All right. Thanks a lot.